Hello and welcome to episode 310 of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at DynastyDad FF. I get excited every Tuesday for draft night. I'm looking about it every single our trade night. I get excited for Wednesdays because it's like, yo, here we go. Mock drafts again, baby. I'm super excited for tonight's show. Daniel Jeremiah dropped his latest mock 2.0, which means that we're going to go ahead and we're going to let you see what the draft looks like. You know, this is only part of the process. But every single time we get landing spots, we want to tell you about these landing spots. We want to tell you about what that would mean for their draft stock. Nobody better to do that with than my main man, Snoog. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Dad. It's exciting. I love mock drafts, especially this particular one when the GOAT Daniel Jeremiah kind of jumps into it and drops his 1.0, and now we're at the 2.0. So that means we're getting close to the combine, close to the NFL draft. You know I love my running backs, and 3 running backs went in the first round in this mock. So I'm excited to jump into this and talk about some of the picks and landing spots.
Yeah, and we keep referencing things that are going on in the Patreon. You know, we keep talking about mock drafts, and without further ado, say hello to my little friend. We got Scarface jumping in. You know, you've been behind it, setting up all these mock drafts. Now you get to mock with us live. We're super excited to have you, Cody.
Hell yeah. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be on the show. Always get to play around and do these mocks and practice and get set up. I tell you what, the Discord loves these mocks, man. I get DMs every day. Hey, can we mock tonight? Hey, can we mock tomorrow night? And these guys just keep jumping in. So I have a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and all these guys from the Discord, they're in there. You know, Ed says, let's get it. We got Kaleb, you know, go Panthers, go. Panthers. Luke, let's go, fellas. You know, like everybody gets excited about these because it's fun. It's the next step in the process, right? Is we really love who we have in this draft. This draft class is loaded with the running backs. But if you look at Daniel Jeremiah's mock, this one here, you know, we start up at the top. The Browns, they're taking Cam Ward at 2, which is a little bit different than what we've been seeing. And we want you to say, all right, what are we going to do now? Like, how are we going to go ahead and what's Cam Ward going to be worth? And the Giants at 3 take Travis Hunter. The Raiders at 6, Sheduer Sanders. Jets at 7, Tyler Warren. Bucks at 19, and this is the farthest we've seen Tetairoa McMillan fall. He doesn't go to your Panthers, Cody. He's going all the way down here to the Bucks at 19, which is also, you know, could be a nice landing spot here. We see the Broncos getting Colston Loveland at 20. We see the Steelers, Snoog. This is going to be crazy, and I know Cody's got the 101, but we see Ashton Jeanty going to the Steelers at pick 21. Pick 22, Omarion Hampton to the Chargers. I'm sorry, I can't really stand up because I went, you know, 10 to midnight right there. That was wild. Like you get Omarion Hampton there, then TreVeyon Henderson to the Vikings at 24. Snoog, I can't contain myself. Like the big 3 running backs all go in the top 24. Egbuka 25 to the Texans, Golden 30 to the Bills. Like this mock draft gets me amped, Snoog.
Yeah, this was an absolute crazy one for fantasy football, especially. TreVeyon and Emeka Egbuka, my guys, going to 2 dream landing spots. Emeka getting to play with CJ Stroud and my Texans, and then TreVeyon Henderson, first round of the Vikings. This would really change the way people are viewing this 2025 draft class, in my opinion, right now. And I think rookie picks would take an absolute skyrocket in value, especially for running backs. I mean, just alone, the 3 that go in that first round are the consensus top 2 to 5 guys you're seeing everywhere right now. So you're going to see 2 top 8 dynasty running backs. There are 3 top 8 dynasty running backs to the market the day that draft happens, which would make this a really special situation that could happen for us. So I'm excited about it.
I love it. Hey, Scarface, I'm going to ring the bell just so we can get this whole thing started. So hit the start draft button. We are going to get things rolling here. You start out the draft with the 101. And I mean, with the 101 is the same player in every single draft, but I want you to tell me why it's even more smash here right now.
Yeah, well, in this mock from Daniel Jeremiah, I mean, he's fallen to the Steelers. So you talk about running the ball, field control. Like we know he loves his running backs, Mike Tomlin. I'm taking the GOAT. Let me just go ahead and hit it and get it onto the 102. But again, we're smashing that. And I will say, like Snoog said, all these running backs just make such good landing spots.
Dad's frozen. Oh, there we go. You good, Dad?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah. I'm
good. You completely froze out. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this part here, I think the way people would view it is you could go multiple different ways with it. I think there would be probably 2 guys taking over who I'm about to take right now, but sign me up for TreVeyon Henderson to the Vikings in round 1. He's already my RB2 to begin with. I have an extremely high grade on him. He's a do-it-all player, can win after the catch, can win in the receiving game, can be a 3-down back, can win and score from any point of the football field. Elite athleticism, explosive player, good contact balance. He literally plays like a bigger Devon A-Chain, Jamal Charles, Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker, all those guys that can just pop a 95-yard touchdown when it's 3rd and 4 from the 5-yard line. Like at any given moment, he can win you your fantasy football week. I'm going to take that in a KOC's offense with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, that propped up a 30-year-old Aaron Jones last year. So to me, 102, sign me up, TreVeyon Henderson to the Vikings in the first round. Lock it in.
Yeah, I like that pick. I mean, this is at the top here. And, a lot of people have just been saying this class doesn't have it at the top. This isn't elite. But the quarterbacks are a little bit down. But you see TreVeyon Henderson to the Vikings, and if they don't, and Luke's right on there. He said that's stock way up, and then we look at pick 3 here in our mock draft. We have our man going here with TreVeyon Henderson or Tet McMillan still at that 3, which I think is still warranted here. McDaniels takes him there. I think he dips a little bit in value with the Bucks because you got Evans there, you got McMillan, so you got to have 2 straight McMillans. But I do think Tet McMillan is still a nice landing spot here in the Bucks. Snoog, I mean, what do you think here with Tet? Tet going to the Panthers or Tet to the Patriots? I love Tet going to the Bucks. I think he takes a hit. I think that value, he's got a lot of Mike Evans in his game. So year 1 might not be elite, but you could learn from Mike Evans and see him, with a Jaxson Smith-Njigba type career arc where year 1 might not be it. Year 2 starts to ascend. And then year 3, he just really starts to take off.
Yeah, that's what I think we would get from him is I think we'd get a Rome Odunze, Jaxson Smith-Njigba type year 1, which I think I would fade him in rookie drafts and then buy him everywhere after year 1 because him with Baker Mayfield would be a match made in heaven in that Bucs offense with a bad defense where they have to throw the ball 45 times a game. But I wouldn't love and a bad division. Scarface knows that division. There's 0 good defenses in that division right now. So it's a very young division as well. So that would be a really good spot for him long term. But like I said, he comes out, puts up 700, 800 yards. Say they bring back Chris Godwin, and then they have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, and Tet McMillan. That's going to be a tough spot to get to earn targets, 140, 150, 160 targets from day 1. And it's not like it's Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram like the Jags with BTJ last year. It's a Hall of Fame wide receiver who's still good, and Chris Godwin, who's coming off of literally pacing a career year, and Jalen McMillan, who broke out of the scene last year with like 9 touchdowns in like 8 games. So definitely not the best landing spot, but he still gets first round draft capital, still checks every box as a prospect, and still goes to a situation with a good quarterback at a good long-term outlook. So I would definitely take him in the top 5.
Ed Mayer say, hey, he isn't going to Tampa Bay. They're bringing back Godwin. That might happen. And what we're really doing here is we're just taking Daniel Jeremiah's mock. We're doing this as a practice here where you're like, okay, this is what happens if we go that route, and if that ends up being how it goes. Scarface, the next one we have Cam Ward going. He is going to go at pick 2 to the Browns. He's arguably worth the 102 now. His stock has to go up. I think him going to the Browns with Judy there, with Njoku, this has got to be good for Cam Ward if he avoids that Tennessee mindfall.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd rather be there. At least you have a good head coach, offensive head coach. You've got some receivers. I mean, Tennessee is just terrible, right? They've got nothing. Like, how could you have success there? So the only thing is with Watson, even if you bring in Ward, is he going to start right away? What would be the plan there?
Yeah, I think Watson. I think he's toast at this point in a lot.
But he's stuck.
They're going to try.
He's got the money, so you can't get rid of him.
For sure. The next one, this one, Snoog, you honestly, I could see Omarion Hampton being the 102 with where he lands here. I mean, going to the Chargers, I think this is, he gets round 1 draft capital. Omarion Hampton in that situation for me moves up into that same area as TreVeyon Henderson. Like a lot of people are saying, Dad, how do you go about breaking these down? You're doing all these mock drafts. Talk about a little bit more principle. And for me, we have that whole tier 2 of running backs. Their landing spot's going to be huge for them, and I think if TreVeyon Henderson goes to the Vikings and we see Omarion Hampton to the Chargers, I prefer Hampton if Aaron Jones goes back to Minnesota. If Aaron Jones leaves Minnesota and we see TreVeyon Henderson there, it's like these two guys are going to go a lot closer to Ashton Jeanty than what we would have anticipated. Jeanty's a tier above for sure, but Hampton, as Ed said, he's an absolute smash in that situation. I love him, but the landing spot there makes it even more. So that's a fantastic pick. Next one here, and we got Seth Owens, another guy, and that was Deion's Raw. Deion's a guy in the Discord, always super active. Love that he gets in on these. Next one, Seth Owens takes Emeka Egbuka to the Texans, Snoog. That's sexy too. Like, we're looking for a guy to replace Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell in this particular situation. You're bringing him in there. He could see 120 targets as a rookie.
Yeah, you're looking at a 1,000-yard receiver, 80, 90, 100-plus receptions as a rookie, in my opinion, in this landing spot. High-powered offense, just brought in Nick Caley from the Rams, from that from that McVay tree. He was the tight ends coach there. He's going to be a guy coming in as the OC, a lot of motion, a lot of usage through the slot, like we saw with Puka, Cooper Kupp. Emeka Egbuka to the Texans. I don't think people realize how good of a landing spot that would be, because everyone would be like, Nico Collins is there, it limits his ceiling. No, it doesn't. CJ Stroud and Emeka Egbuka would do wonders, because we've seen what they did together in college. Emeka broke out as a true sophomore, putting up 1,100 yards alongside Marvin Harrison Jr. with Emeka. Every down reliable target for CJ Stroud, which he hasn't had. A guy that can consistently win versus zone and man. Guy that you can match up and put on the line, play in the Z slot. You can play him anywhere you want on the football field and get on the ball, and he can make plays after the catch. Mm-hmm. I don't even think he's going to make it this far. Like, I think he's going to go top 20. Personally, I think he has the talent to. Maybe the NFL devalues him a little bit because he's more of that slot Z guy, less of that kind of alpha X, like speedy guy. We've seen it in the past with it. CeeDee Lamb fell, like Jerry Jeudy, they all fell in that 19 to 20-something. Justin Jefferson, I think he goes in that range, but he could be, when it's all said and done, with this landing spot and all the landing spots we see right now, Dad, the wide receiver one in this class. Very easily, in my opinion. With what we have, like with Tech going to the Bucks, with Luther Burden going, I don't even think he goes in this mock. So that's like what I'm saying is there's a chance Emeka can be the wide receiver one that you get 106 to 110 in most of your drafts.
So far, we got 6 picks in. I think every single one of them increased in value. Cody, I mean, Tyler Warren's been a guy that you and I have both been all over. He goes to the Jets here, and the Jets are in a bit of a turmoil spot, but they're going to address the quarterback position. I think Adams is as good as gone. Wilson wants to leave. I mean, this is someone that's going to slot in as the second target in an offense right off the bat, and his skill set is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I like Warren. I've been talking about him for a while. If we keep seeing these mocks where he's going top 10 and we're able to get him at 107, especially in our 0.75 leagues, that's going to be a smash, guys. I mean, that's a deal. I know there's a lot of good players with good landing spots in front of that, but I mean, we're talking top 10 draft capital. We've seen it, multiple times. This is the 2.0. The quarterback question, who's it going to be? Is it going to be somebody that can feed him? But he's an older prospect, right? I mean, this guy's 22
years old. I think he's 22.
24.
He's 22. Everyone thought he was 24, and
no one knows his age.
He's actually 22. I think it was Jeff Bell, one of the big Debbie guys, found so much info on him, and he's 22 years old, gonna be 23. So he's not as old as we thought he was.
Is this like Albert Pujols, just trying to figure out what his age is? This is America. We should be able to figure this out. Hey, speaking of which, I love this next pick. Even though he's not gone in this particular, mock draft, we see Quinshon Judkins going to Big Fish here.
I love that value.
108. I think this is good value. There's still a lot of early seconds. Quinshon Judkins could go to the Cowboys. He could go to the Broncos. He could go somewhere where I absolutely love this pick. I think, time-wise, I love what I see from him. I also love the next pick. I mean, we got a really Al, Kaleb, FF guy on Twitter that's awesome. He's now, an analyst who's done amazing work on Twitter. He's now in the Discord. He's in there chopping it up with guys. We have a lot of sharp people in there. We have not talked about, making sure you guys get that opportunity to get in there. Patreon.com/SmashAccept, $5 a month for whatever you guys need. We got our rookie drafts. We got the rookie guide comes out on Friday. We have all of our rankings. We have our, value equivalents. Cody and I are going to talk about it a little bit more, but you got a group of 580 guys, and he's in there talking shop where people are just so excited to, again, Cody, we said that before, where I'm on auto pick. I took Kaleb Johnson. All right.
That's who you would have taken anyway.
hey, that's who I was going to take. 1-9, Colston Loveland. Al takes there. Absolutely love this. Snoog, we get Sheduer Sanders now, falling all the way to 110, and he goes 6th in the NFL draft. If you don't believe the 2025 class is deep, you're clueless. This class is going to be crazy deep. I'm all in it. I mean, I think Sheduer Sanders to the Raiders at 6 at pick 110, that's wild to me.
Yeah, this is a really good stretch, I think, because I think realistically, when it comes down to most of these rookie mocks, that you're going to be getting Judkins, Kaleb Johnson, Loveland in this 110 to 112-ish range, which sign me up because I'm getting an every down workhorse in the late first, 2 every down workhorses in the late first, and a tight end that has the potential to be a top 3 to 5 dynasty tight end. Yeah. Sean Payton drafts his Joker tight end, his Jeremy Shockey, his Jimmy Graham in this particular situation with Colston Loveland, a prospect that checks every single box, 20 years old, good athlete, can catch the ball from anywhere. He's just a do-it-all type tight end. And then you're getting the potential upside of a Travis Hunter at the 111 here, a guy that is probably the best wide receiver in this class if he plays wide receiver. So that's the kind of the gamble you take here. But with the 111, you're giving up who's worth the 111? Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. I don't even know who's pick equivalent to 111. It's not a great player. I'd rather roll the upside on the Heisman winner, who has the potential to be a Garrett Wilson light type player in a situation where he's primarily playing wide receiver. So I'll kick it over to you because you probably got the steal of the draft right there at the 112, and you can talk about kind of that. I know he doesn't go in this mock, but he definitely goes in the second round.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Kaleb Johnson. Kaleb Johnson goes 112 here. He's still in that tier 2, just like I said with Quinshon Judkins. As running backs that are going to go in round 2 in this draft, there could be 6 or 7 guys go by the end of that. So, but we got the guys that we already have in this draft. I mean, we have Jeanty, Henderson, Hampton all go in round 1. I think Judkins goes round 2. Kaleb Johnson, Cam Skattebo, Devin Neal. I think all 6 of those guys. We got 6, 7 guys. We get into that area where they're smashes, and
yeah,
I got to keep moving with this one because this one's a little bit more fast paced. I thank you, Cody, for pausing it there because we're getting a little winded because we got to keep it moving. But that 201, this is in Smash Accept 18. I loaded up and I got 17. We're gonna talk about 18 here in a second. So Smash Accept 17, I went up and I loaded 111 to 203. I just got them all. I'm because I love this area because you're going to get Loveland's going to fall there, Hunter, Kaleb Johnson, whoever you're going to take next. I already prefaced Smash Accept 18. Cody, since you're the man, behind there, you're the special guest here. Why don't you make an announcement on who our first entry into Smash 18 is going to be? We had a giveaway. We do a ton of different giveaways into Patreon. Who's the first guy with their YouTube comment and read their comment?
All right, sorry. Let me pull the comment back up. I got your guy picked out here. It's a guy that I've known, and he's always active. That's what I like. I've seen this guy. He's always hitting your comments to try to get in a league. I know he's been in with the Discord since 2024 July, I believe it was. So he's coming up on 12 months this past summer. So he's been an awesome guy. He actually joined one of my startups last year, and he's just phenomenal, super active. So let me pull up his comment, but. The guy here that we're going with is my guy Luke Little March, and let's see what I might not be able to pull it up in time.
Oh, that's all right. Well, congratulations, little March. You're going to be in Smash Accept 18. I'm going to be drafting. I'm still trying to convince Snoog to possibly get in that one. So I think that's our guy right here. I think that's Luke Marchino right there. He said, "Hey, yo," I love that. So that's perfect, man. I love when you guys are excited to get into those leagues. It's so much fun for us. I love drafting with you guys. I love playing, and it's a fun time. So, all right, Scarface, you got that 201. This is a great area. Now you have potentially the wide receiver 3. You get a ton of running backs here to fall into this same area. Who are you taking here at the 201?
Yeah, there's a couple running backs I like, but I'm going to take the wide receiver that didn't go round 1 because I think he does actually go round 1 on draft day. So I'm going to take Burden. I'm going to take the guy that kind of does it all. Really, really good. Can you tackle him? He's going to make a lot of yards after the catch and touchdowns at the next level. We don't know his landing spot, but I take the talent. I believe the guy. I think he's round 1 on draft day.
Me too.
Yeah,
I like that.
I love that a lot. And, this is a great comment here. Obviously, Alex Alagood, you guys aren't following us on YouTube. Make sure you do. We are almost at 3,000 subs. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. He says, no way he makes it past my Steelers and the Commanders of the Bills. I agree. Burden's gonna go round 1. I've seen him get mocked as early as 12. So like this round 1 is going to have 10 or 11 guys that go round 1, and then you're going to have running backs go round 2. That's why it's such a special class. That's why, for me, 1 through 15, I did my rankings the other day, Snoog, and honestly, before we have these kind of assessments, 2 through 11 are really close. Like, it's not that big. Then you see landing spots like we have here, and that's why we do this for you guys, is now you get to see it. It's just like, damn, this class is going to be special. Snoog, who you taking here? I know who you're taking here. Go ahead.
You're not asking me, are you?
No.
I know you know who I'm taking.
We finish each other's sandwiches. This is what we do.
I'm taking the only running back in this class to put up 2,300 all-purpose yards and 50-plus receptions this year, and literally piggyback carried his team all the way to an almost national championship run. Cam Skattebo, he's the David Montgomery of this class. He's a guy that's going to go on day 2. He can bruise you. He can run you over. He can juke you out of your cleats. He can win in short areas. He has great burst for his size in short areas as well. The long speed is lacking, but so is Kyron Williams, Kareem Hunt, all these elite running backs that we've seen in the past put up numerous RB1 seasons. This Arian Foster, like they were all 4.65, 4.7 guys. Doesn't matter. I don't care. He's good. He can catch the ball. He can win in pass pro. He's got quick feet in the hole. He's got exceptional vision, can break 1,000,000 tackles. He forced 100-plus missed tackles this year, 90-plus PFF grade. I think he had like a 94 or something like that. So like he's a do-it-all workhorse guy that you're going to get in the early second-round drafts. I will leave every spot with him. We don't know the landing spot because he didn't go in the first round, but I'm assuming he goes day 2, and as long as he goes day 2, and as long as he's at least like the 1A, 1B, I'm taking him here.
Yeah, the next pick, I love this too, because Matthew Golden to the Bills really skyrockets up board. And I think Daniel Jeremiah was just like looking at us dynasty degenerates. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, I'm gonna give him a little something. I'm gonna give him the guys that we see them all go where we want them to go. Matthew Golden to the Bills. Whew, that is honestly, I think that's even I like him more than Keon Coleman last year. He feels like a better fit. I feel like he kind of fits more of that Stephon Diggs type of role. And now they start to really put some weapons around Josh Allen. Scarface, I mean, Matthew Golden is a guy that a lot of times goes in like mid-seconds of draft. But if you get a guy that goes to the Bills at pick 30 and you're going to get him at 203, I feel like this is better value than what we had for Keon last year.
Yeah. And Keon was never that guy, right? I mean, he was just somebody that he's going to play on the outside. He's going to be a 50-50 deep ball. But Golden, he's got a good route tree. Like, he's going to go inside. He's going to mix it up. Like, that's what they did with Jamar Chase this year. They moved him inside a lot more, had him doing the slot routes way more often. Golden can do that too. I think that depth chart is really easy to jump. They had so many, like, mid-level players. I know Shakir's really good. I actually think he's really underrated. But if Golden's going to the Bills, I really like what he could do there.
Yeah. Hey, this next pick, Snoog, this is what gets me excited. You know, like I love Devin Neal. Zeb goes ahead and gets him here at 204. I've been getting him everywhere in my mocks, usually 202 to 203. If I go 204, I'm loving that. I think, Golden going to the Bills definitely moves him above Neal before landing spot. But again, we see Neal go to the right spot. This guy is electric. This guy is patient. This is someone who just does it for me. He's a Dynasty Dad approved running back for me. I'm going to be leaving every draft. You're going to be leaving with Skattebo. I'm going to be leaving with Neal. And I think ultimately we're both going to be absolutely thrilled with that. This is going to be a fun spot. Dion's going to be up here in the next pick. He has absolutely killed these mock drafts. Every time people are like, yo, Dion got the best draft. He absolutely killed it. He got Hampton in that first spot at 1-5. I think that's going to be an absolute steal. And then he goes and he gets the most in round 2, the most bang for your buck, the biggest boom type, boom bust almost in my opinion. But I think Tre Harris, we don't see where he goes in this mock, but I think Tre Harris has the ceiling at 205 that we're all looking for, right? Last year at 205, that was what Ricky Purcell range. He had that ceiling because of the landing spot. We get Tre Harris with a good landing spot. Man, I think he could really skyrocket up. Notorious says, let Tre Harris sneak into round 1, please. And I think he might go round 1. He will definitely go round 2 in the NFL draft. He will be gone by this point when we talk about real drafts. The next pick, we're talking tight end premium. Seth again nails it. He got Egbuka in the first. Now he gets Harold Fannin Jr. Scarface, Fannin Jr., you like the tight ends. I know you dig the formats. Yep. You try to look at, what we have here. And Harold Fannin Jr., with the type of season that he had going all the way here at 2-6, this draft just keeps going. It feels like there's just so much value even at this point.
Yeah, and Big Fish just said I got sniped. So I wonder if that was him. But, yeah, I mean, you got to play the premiums. People don't always think about that as much as we should. It's 0.75, and you're getting a guy that could be round 2, round 3 NFL draft. So potential NFL starter day 1. And this guy was highly productive all 3 years. I don't think he's a 4-year guy, right? This is a early.
Yeah, this is third.
So, yeah, I mean, just a potential really good player to get on the field and play right away, especially if he gets the early draft capital. But, again, I'm playing the premiums. If we're getting 0.75, I've got my tight ends up there.
Yeah, no, that's a great pick. Snoog, again, we don't see the draft capital here yet, but I love this pick by Yoho. He goes and he takes Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart is moving up boards more than anybody even realizes. I have a lot of people
saying, first round.
What if he goes pick 14? What if he goes pick 18? Snoog, this draft is so good. If he goes round 1, would you take him above Skattebo and Burden? I feel like if we're talking Superflex.
Not Burden.
Where does he go? 1-9? Right? He can't go above Sheduer. He can't go. But I think he goes above Hunter and above Kaleb.
I would rather take him over Sheduer at cost. I think we would get to that point where it's because he has rushing upside. What is Sheduer Sanders? What the heck is he gonna be? Geno Smith? I don't want that. I'm not taking that.
I'm okay with it.
But you need the weapons and you need the situation. And if he goes to the Titans or the Browns, he's not going to have that. He's going to be a Josh Rosen. Now, he's not bad. He has a good arm talent. So I think, he could be like that Geno Smith, that high-end game manager. Dart could be I think Dart has higher upside, lower floor than a Sheduer. And I think he would be remember when Mac Jones went 15th and he was that early to mid-second round pick in rookie drafts? Mm-hmm. I think that if Dart goes top 10, then he finds his way in the top 6 to 8, especially the super flex enthusiasts that just absolutely skyrocket quarterbacks up the board no matter what. But if you get some sort of situation where he goes 18 to 21, in that range, he's going to be an early second rounder. That's cool.
Dude, look at this. The guy that's in the Discord that drafted him, Shane Yoho, played against Dart in high school. Now he's drafting him on our mock draft. That is so cool. That is such an awesome thing. You literally played with this guy. Snoog, I got to say right now, this has just been, honestly, some of these things you guys aren't seeing because my email is blowing up. But right now, you guys go to patreon.com/smash accept, use code MOCK. You get 50% off your first month. You go out there, you put that in there. Cody, you could attest to it. putting $5 in, that first month you get $250. That's not even a cup of coffee. Even if you put it in for that $20, you're getting an absolute deal at half off in that first month. Talk to me a little bit, because you've been one of the longest members, now going from a member into a staff. You see he's got the background back there for his Twitter. You got a little bit of Scarface action. Talk to a little bit about like what that's actually, what the Discord has meant to you and your Dynasty journey, because it's kind of a cool experience, and I've seen you really just morph into a lot more involved and a lot more deeper into what this community means.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many amazing resources in it. You've got your rankings that you guys put out and you update, consistently. You've got your buys, your sells. You've got regular chit chat, fantasy football, NFL, where guys are just going back and forth. You got the trade talk room, which is just chaos, man. It's just 104 for this, 107 for that. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? So it's just guys working together, having fun, having a blast. But really, for me, the best part is the community. I've had so many people that I've met through the Discord, and I've had startups go through. I joined back in 2023, and I saw a lot of the same people. There's some studs in there that I kind of came through with, and a lot of these guys are still in the Discord with us. We created some leagues. I've got a league that literally is called Trade Talk Finest, and that was because I selected. With a couple of the other guys, we picked out some of our like rock star guys that we really loved and always talked with. So that's what I mean. Like, I was telling Dynasty Dad, you don't have 30 friends in real life that play Dynasty football. You might have NFL friends, but when you get in this community, I mean, you've got hundreds. I think the number is over 500 now. So it's massive. It's incredible. It's amazing. We've got a Trade Talk Finest 2.0 now. It's awesome, man. And then my guy Jay Spanny, he's just doing nonstop startups, getting more and more going. So that's what it's all about, man. That's
awesome. What we need to highlight too, Dad. Is like I've had a couple of people say like, I joined the Patreon, there's nothing here. You're paying this. The Patreon's just a subscription service. Then you get the invite to the Discord. That's what you're paying for. The Discord has everything you need, all the stuff that Scarface just highlighted. Mm-hmm. And there's a carrot pitch now. The rookie draft guide that we've been working on for the past 2 months drops on Friday. If you're in the Discord, you get it for, I think it's 25 to 30% off compared to regular price as well. So you're getting a steal on that. So you just got to get in there. It's where you got to be. It really is. I don't need to say it anymore.
No, the two things that you hit on there that I absolutely love is that sense of community, where what I wanted when I started this day one was, just a group of guys you can talk shop with that actually care about your teams. And the other part you hit on is that trade talk room. So a lot of people look at Twitter polls, and there's trolls everywhere just messing with the trade. In there, I go in there and I start looking I start voting, and I'm like, you know what? Like every single one of these, this is how I would vote. And it's kind of morphed to where we all kind of have a similar thought process. We keep going. Luke says, the joke is always we want to keep our Smash Accept a secret from our league mates, but there's no better way to learn about Dynasty and really take your league to the next level. So, had to get that in there since we had you in here. I love that you're, a part of that. Second round, we're going to have to cruise here a little bit, but Dylan Samson at the 208, Elik Ayomanor at the 209, Tez Johnson at 210, Ollie Gordon at 211. Now we get to the 212, and they auto-picked for me again. Nope, not yet. All right, I'm my pick on the clock. Snoog, this is a tough spot here at 212. Because you start to look at what do we have left. There's a couple of guys that I really like here. I'm gonna let you talk real quick here about Ollie Gordon at 211. Then I'm gonna get my pick in.
Yeah, Ollie Gordon 211. You're getting a guy with the pedigree that won the Doak Walker Award back in 2023. Looked like an absolute super freak on the football field. You couldn't tackle him. 6'1", 230, elusive, can catch the ball in the backfield well. I still think he profiles as a 3-down back. I still think he's talented enough to be a starter in an NFL offense. And I think that he's going to be a great value, especially in that 211 range. He's someone I see falling down the boards. I'm trading up to get type of player because there's the upside there, right? Like we've seen what he was capable of. He had some off-field issues, DUIs, all that crap this past season. Not to mention that offense was horrible with Oklahoma State. Like no offensive line, no weapons, couldn't move the ball. You shut down Ollie Gordon and that's it. Like that was the type of offense they had. I love this pick. He's probably going to be a day 2 type, maybe early round 4. I could see the Steelers going and getting him. He screams Steeler. So kick it back to you with this Jaden Higgins pick that you just took.
Yeah, and I love Jaden Higgins here at the 212. I mean, him and Jalen Royals, I think, are going to be the guys that end up going there at 211, 212. I like both of these guys here in this area. I think they have round 2 draft capital. Jaden Higgins, 6'4". You know, he's a guy that I think if you look at him and Tetairoa McMillan side by side, they play very similar. I think both of these guys, the separation between the wide receiver 1 in this class and where Jaden Higgins isn't as big as people think. But, you know, he's someone that at this range, I'm more than comfortable taking a shot here. Most likely at the 212, I'm going to smash a running back, though. We don't have the landing spot. When I see the landing spots, you know, if we see RJ Harvey, we see Damian Martinez, we see some of these guys go to the right spot, I'm going to smash that. All right, we're going to kick it over to you here, Scarface. You have the 301, but before we do that, we have another guy entering Smash Accept 18. Who's that going to be?
Yes, sir. So our next guy here, I got it written down. It's I think this is one of our newer Discord members, Shotani.
Let's go.
Are you sure it's not Shohei Ohtani? He's got a lot of money. He just jumped into the Discord because we had Ronald Acuna join last week, which was kind of cool. So
you got Scarface, you got Acuna, you got it all, right?
Dude, it's loaded up. Now, who are we taking at 301 here? Because this is where Snoog and I have really been saying 212, 301, 302. There's a lot of really good players here. So who's it going to be here for you at that 301?
Yeah, so for me, let me unpause this. A lot of these guys, I would want to see where they're at, right? I would want to see where they're going to be drafted at. So just for this exercise, I'm going to take the Senior Bowl hero. I'm going to take Beach after that story. You know, what happened with him and his family. I mean, you got to love that stuff. So I'm going to ride high on that for now. And then come rookie draft day, we'll see. You know, we'll see where the landing spots are at, and we'll go from there. But for now, I'll take the wide receiver Dart.
I actually like that a lot. I think we've been too low on him and haven't really pointed that out, Snoog. I mean, I think he has a ton of upside. I'm seeing a lot of guys have him go round 2, early round 3, and I love that a lot. You know, like this class up until like 302, 303, you're going to get some really nice value and some guys that are going to be immediate producers for your dynasty teams.
Yeah, and what I love about the dynasty landscape with this current rookie draft that we're in is how steep and deep this running back class is. I'm about to get my running back 10 and 11 off the board here. I'm so wishy-washy between Martinez and Brashard Smith. Last time I went Brashard Smith. This time I'm going to go Damian Martinez just for this exercise. This is a guy that had a good Senior Bowl, three straight seasons with 1,000+ yards, transfer from Oregon State after an elite freshman season, putting up almost 1,000 yards as a true freshman, highly efficient runner. Comes out of a team that utilized a lot of under center running, let him make defenders miss. He's got great elusiveness for his size. Another guy that kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Ramondre Stevenson, Dave Montgomery type, like bigger, 225+ pound, elusive power runner. But to me, he goes to Miami. They use him out of shotgun, completely different from what his skill set's used to and what he's used to playing like. Alongside Mark Fletcher, who's another NFL caliber running back for next year's class, puts up another 1,000-yard season. And he's a very capable pass catcher. He's not fast. He's not this explosive Brashard Smith, but he can catch a couple checkdowns and make you miss in the flats, and that's what makes him special. So to me, Damian Martinez, he's a Devin darling to me, and I'm loving this value because he's probably going to go early day 3, maybe sneaking around 3.
I want everyone to look at Snoog's draft because it's green. It's running backs, and it's the way to win in this particular draft. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, if we go back, Smith or Martinez is probably my pick there at the end. This class is going to get you your running backs. All right, here's what we got to talk about. Scarface, you know Snoog hates Jalen Milroe. You know I don't mind him because I feel like he's a Jalen Hurts light. At 301, though, if he goes in the second round, you know, the Giants – I love that the Giants passed on a quarterback in this particular draft. If they go get a Matthew Stafford or they go get, you know, like, and then in the second round, take a Jalen Milroe, I think this is really good value for a guy that has elite rushing upside.
Yeah, I mean, Well, I mean, we'll see what he looks like in the NFL, but again, you're playing the premiums. It's a superflex league. You're getting a potential NFL starter in the round 3. A lot of these round 3 guys, what are they going to turn into? Probably not much fantasy-wise. So if you're going to, take a shot on him, especially if he's looking at maybe being your QB3, QB4 of your team. I mean, if I'm sitting there with, Jared Goff and no QB2, I'm probably looking a different direction to, fix that quarterback problem. But again, if you got an extra pick, in the 3rd and you want to add him and just take a flyer and see what happens. I'm good with it. Especially with that rushing upside. I watched a few Alabama games this year. I mean, and the performance was kind of up and down. And, I don't really know what he's going to look like in the NFL, but we'll see.
You're going to take some lumps, like it's not going to be free all the time. We just stop. He's not a tight end. Hey, we're going to 302 here, or 304. And Brashard Smith falls all the way to 304. That's a great pick here by Zeb. Snoog, you've been talking about him a lot. He almost belongs at that 211, 212. I think people are going to really be shocked at how high his draft capital is. We've talked about him a lot. We're about to do another show after this. He's definitely in our top 36 big board. But we got a question here sent in from Protect Your QB. Love this guy. He's always jumping in on the YouTubes. Would you rather have Egbuka with the Texans or Hampton with the Chargers? Real quick, I want to get both of your takes here on that one. Because in this draft, Hampton goes first. Which one would you rather have?
You know my answer. It is really close, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's like 2 or 3 landing spots that would skyrocket Omarion for me alone.
And this is one of them.
And one of them is the Chargers. But I still, like, I was talking to Thor. Shout out to him on Twitter. He's a big name in the space. And he's like, we're talking about it like he's just one of those players that you're watching him and your socks stay on the whole time. Like, he is not knocking socks off to me. Horrible competition he's facing. The gaps that he's running through are the size of a bus. Like, there's not much that he does besides run people over that makes me excited about him. But to the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh, like, that's what they preach there is drop your shoulder pads and run. And he would be a great fit there for them. But Emeka Egbuka, young wide receivers paired up with CJ Stroud. You know my pick there, Dad. It's close. They would go back to back for me.
I got to say with Hampton there, like at this point, if we're talking about that earlier draft capital, that's Dynasty Dad approved. I'm going Omarion Hampton.
I would go Omarion Hampton.
He's going that early.
I would too, yeah.
What about you, Scarface?
No, definitely Hampton. I mean, if Dobbins played that well with
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
You know he's top 15 performer 2025. Like, he's going to step in and he's just going to be the starter and he's going to roll.
I would take Hampton too.
He feels like, he feels like that guy. And I think both this running back class has me so excited. We keep like skipping over some of these picks. Elijah Arroyo at 3.5. A lot of people have him, in their top 50 on their big boards. I like that pick. We go over Dion. You always kill it, man. Seth going with RJ Harvey. Yoho going with Jalen Royals. I mean, that's a nice stretch of value here, Snoog. In the mid-3rd, Arroyo, Harvey, and Royals. I mean, all 3 of those guys have some upside to really give you a shot in the arm on your dynasty team. DJ Giddens at the 308. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and look at my pick here because you guys are just hammering these. But real quick, who do you like there? I mean, Giddens, Harvey, Arroyo, Royals. This is good value.
Yeah, I love Royals. I've been pounding that drum for a while. He's the top 6 to 8 wide receiver in this class for me. LaQuint Allen is a name that he's not even in sleeper yet. So he's a little bit of a deeper play here. We're not going to be able to get to him, or Taj Brooks probably won't go. But for you guys that are looking for what to do in your 4th rounds, those are the 2 guys I'm looking for. And Dad, we've talked about this, and I've kind of adjusted my process with running backs because we think we know everything until we don't, right? Like, the running back is the main position that changes so much. And you could think a running back is really good. They could be super talented. Their film's great. Their analytics are great. But there could be one thing, or a team needs a Jahmyr Gibbs and this guy plays like Dave Montgomery and they already have a Dave Montgomery and they pass on him. And then the next team has a Dave Montgomery, so they pass on him. So this guy so that's why with these day 3 guys, I'm looking for who's really good at something. LaQuint Allen, Taj Brooks, Brashard Smith, elite receivers, very elusive out of the backfield. And then you're looking at kind of these Damian Martinez, Ollie Gordon, instead of those big bruisers between the tackles that are going to get you 5-6 yards every single time they touch the football. So that's kind of my process I've adjusted until we get landing spots, draft capital, and combine.
100%. This is the latest that I've seen Isaiah Bond. That's what Al Callow says. I'm completely – I mean, he has game-breaking speed. To get him this late feels like a really good pick. I think then we look at the next one, Oronde Gadsden at the 310. He could be one of the tight end sleepers that in this 0.75, we keep talking about that Scarface. That 0.75 matters, and you get a guy here who's going to be someone's tight end too. Oh, he sniped me there on Xavier Restrepo at 311. But Scarface, do you like Gadsden here at the 310?
Yeah, I'd play the premiums again. This is a guy that I really don't know much about at this point. So landing spot would be huge. Where does he get drafted? Is he going to be a backup? Does he have a chance to start right away? But yeah, playing the premiums again. This is late third. So again, this is an extreme dart throw. Play the premium.
And when it comes to those dart throws, and this is someone that I think right now has fallen a little bit in the process, but I mean, you're getting Jordan James at 312. I like that a lot. There's a lot of guys that didn't get drafted. I mean, I think depending on where they go, guys like Quinn Ewers, Gabriel, I think are going to be fourth round steals at the quarterback position. There are multiple guys here that just starting to, Woody Marks is going to go in the fourth round. Ricky White's going to go in the fourth round. I mean, Tootin's going to go in the fourth round. So you're going to get some dart throws. What I keep telling everybody is when you talk about, your dart throws, you want that to likely be your running backs and your quarterbacks that are going to get you a clearer opportunity unless a wide receiver falls into that right area. If your wide receiver goes round 4 or later, your chances of getting a Puka Nacua are slim to none. It's a 1 in a million. Speaking of 1 in a million, Scarface, you the man. I appreciate everything you do for Smash Accept. Appreciate all the mock drafts you do, and it's been fun having you on. So yes, you nailed it. You nailed it on your first your first opportunity on here. I'm glad you were able to get on here with us. And we appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Always fun to be part of the Discord and everything that we do there. And we'll have more mocks coming up this week for the team. And then we do have one more person for Smash 18.
Star of the show. Go for it. Who is it?
All right, our last spot that we're giving out tonight goes to Connor M.A.
I love it. I mean, 3 guys. It's so fun because the guys in the Discord now are just blowing up, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I got in! This person got in!" And for you guys that are new, you guys that are new to Smash Accept, and you guys are new to the YouTube, again, make sure you hit the subscribe button. But we get more trades, and there he is. This is what I love. Is like those guys, Crazy Connor knows he's in there. They're watching in the live stream. It's a community, but it's not just Snoog and I are not just hosts of the show, but we're part of that community. Like, we're answering questions. We're trying to literally put ourselves into your shoes of what we do for your dynasty teams. And that's how we get to the next level. So this has been a fun show. I'm glad you could jump on. Snoog, this draft just keeps the further we get along in this process, the more we start to get a glimpse. But this mock draft, more so than any that we've done so far, has really just said, you know what? This is going to be a fantastic class. No matter what you're seeing, you see a lot of people that are really coming out of the woodworks now, redraft guys starting to put out dynasty content, talk about this class is nothing, this is not. Do your homework. We've been doing it all off season. We're trying to give you these guys. And then once we get to the combine, it's going to be another one. But Snoog, I love this particular mock draft.
Yeah, this one went really good. 3 first-round running backs, get the blood pumping. I would be jumping off my seat on the couch. Even if I don't care who the running backs are that go. I want to see this running back class live up to the hype. And then I want everybody listening, everybody in the Discord. I'm going to tweet 50 times a day until my fingers fall off that you need to be pounding running backs in this draft class, pick after pick after pick after pick, because there's a chance we get 8 to 10 of them that are productive in fantasy football like we saw back in 2017. So that's how we want to jump into it and keep paving forward. And we got some work to do for this next stream we're about to do for this rookie big board, this top 36. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, crap, I got a tier after Jeanty that's 9 people deep. Right. So we're going to have to kind of put together this big board and put together these tiers for you. So everybody go tune over to that after this. And you guys can kind of see what our big board looks like right now and heading into the combine, subject to change, especially in a running back heavy class. Those numbers, projected draft capital, all that stuff matters a ton.
Hey, again, trade shows with Brock Dynasty every single Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Mocks every 9:30 on Wednesday. Make sure you guys tune in for those. Thanks again for tuning into this one, and enjoy the process. Scarface.